And today is the third time this week I will actually be going over the Magicka Dragonknight build options. So guys, in my opinion, once again, this is just my opinion, I saved the best for last for you. Alright, this is the Heatstroke build. This is my baby. It's not finished because I'm looking for the weapons still, because he's so flipping hates me. But this is my pride and joy. Make no doubt, tested, confirmed, this is my favorite Dragonknight build for the Magicka DK. The other two builds are really good. I love the asphyxiation. The other build is the backdraft build. It's good. It's a solid build. So it'll get you through even normal trials. Preparing you for more harder vet trials. It'll get you through vet Hellrot and vet AA for sure. But those, but you really want to kind of raise the bar when you're looking at vet Sanctum or vet Maul, especially Maul. Anyways, so this is the Heatstroke build. This is so badass, guys. I'm going to get into this, and it's pretty impressive. And this is why I don't consider myself a theory crafter. I ain't got time for theories, just results, guys. That's all I got time for. So I'm going to go ahead and throw up my food, and we're going to go ahead and get into this. All right, on staff side, we're looking at 40,052 max Magicka. Magicka recovery is low, 796. If you notice, I'm wearing Valkynscorian. You do not want Magicka on a Magicka DK, because even with the if you sacrifice, let's say, the 174 into your jewelry, right, you're only going to get 100 and something. You're still going to be depleting a lot of resources. Valkynscorian's DPS proc, and if you parse this, and I can tell you what's going to happen, you're going to end up pushing out more DPS with the Valkynscorian versus the burst from Kina, because it'll be short durated. And even if you apply the dot effects during Kina's proc, it would burn hotter and faster. This is true, because you can reapply your applications during Kina proc and then just go when Kina drops, then throw up. This is true, but it's just so costly on the resources. Valkynscorian ends up pushing out a lot more for the long run, for more sustained DPS. So Valkynscorian is what we're going with here, right, guys? No question about it. So also you're going to see max health is at 19,473. I usually like to keep around 20k, but this is sufficient. But I don't like to drop that max Magicka below. And once again, you're going to see why it's a little low with this build, but it's reasonable. So if you take a look, the spell damage without anything at the moment is only at 1,967 at the moment. Spell crit is at 51.1, and if you look over to the left, you'll see Magicka's attributes at 58 and health at 6. The boon we're going to be running is the Apprentice, right? So on the dual side, you're going to go ahead and see the stats. Now, our max Magicka has increased to 41,365. Health has stayed the same. Recovery has gone up to 817. And spell damage also has increased from 19 to 21. Now, our spell crit has dropped. But, like I said, I'm missing a few pieces, and I will explain when I go into the gear what I'm missing and what we're going to do to push up at least that spell crit up a couple of points. All right, so let's go ahead and get into the gear. So we are running a double stack. Now this is blue because it's charged. Ugh, whatever. I've been debating about upgrading these things. So we're running a double stack of the Scathing Mage and Burning Spellweave. All right, guys. Double stacked. All right, so we have the Inferno staff. It's charged at the moment. I don't need it charged at this moment. What I need is a precise. The reason I'm going to need that precise, when I go to the staff side and we go back to the character sheet, I'm at 51. When I hit that precise, it's going to push me closer up. It's going to push my crit percentage up. I want to try to get to 55.5 as close as possible. If I go a little over, that's fine, but I want that crit up there because my dots can crit, and I want to take advantage of that during my procs. All right. So also we have the Burning Spell Weave Sword currently in training. What I want is this one in Sharpen, because remember, I get 10% on the staff side towards penetration. When I'm on sword side, I don't have that pen, so I need one Sharpen because I'm going to get in light armor passives, right? And if you guys watch my channel, you know, but if you don't know, a lot of people are like, you should go Sharpen on everything. I've proven this time and time again, and you know, I've time and time again. This is why, guys, when you take a look at penetrating magic, your destruction staff abilities ignore 10% of the enemy's spell resistance, and most people are going to be like, so what? It's only 10%, right? Well, here's the deal, guys. When I also go into light armor, I get concentration. That gives me 4,884 additional pen. When I put a couple points into the champion system, I'm also grabbing some penetration. Now you add major and minor breach from the other classes in your trial groups, you have a significant amount of penetration. So your secondary focus becomes what? Spell damage or crit percentage. Those are your secondaries. Okay, so you need to focus on that. So that's how that works out for you. So like I said, we're looking for a Sharpen, though. We need one Sharpen Spell Weave Sword. No debate. We also need another sword, though, and that one has to be precise, because once again, even on the dual side, my crit percentage isn't exactly where I want it to be. It's only at 51. So I need the two precise. I need a precise staff, and I need one precise sword, because I want to push that up to about 55.5. Remember, guys, I'm trying to get the max benefit out of whatever I can with my stats. Okay, so there that is. We're running the heavy Valkyskorian head infused, because this is going to give us a lot more Magicka versus all divine. Remember, guys, you know, if you go all divine, you lose a significant amount of Magicka towards your pool. That's going to help with sustainability. So you need to focus in on that. Now, so we got this in heavy. Why? Because we want to maintain the Undaunted passive. The reason being, because when you go one heavy and one medium, even on light armor wearers, you're going to get that Undaunted metal. That Undaunted metal is going to give you 6% when you unlock 2 towards all your base stats. So keep that in mind, guys. That's very, very, very important. And the chest is the Jerkin of the Scathing Mage. Once again, this is also infused Max Magicka. The medium shoulders of Valkyskorian arms, that is in divine. The belt of the Burning Spellweave sash in divine, Max Magicka. The hands of the Burning Spellweave gloves, Max Magicka. The legs of the Scathing Mage infused, Max Magicka. And the feet of the Scathing Mage, Max Magicka. Now you'll notice I don't actually have any of these glyphed health. The reason being is because the Valkyskorian gives me health on the one piece, just putting it on. If I want to and push that health up, I usually put it on the shoulders, but for this, it is substantial. It, you know, 19.5, you know, close to 19.5 is working, but if I wanted to, I would go ahead and put a health, and you can do that. That is an option if you want to get that closer to that 20k. So, and of course, we have the Burning Spellweave necklace. This is purple. Keep in mind, guys, you're gonna have to do Vet, City of Ash 1 or 2. I think 2's been having a better drop rate on jewelry than 1. I don't know if anybody else has noticed that. But 1, I think 1 drops them, you know, but I've been getting a lot better drop rate on jewelry in 2, I think. The pieces I got for the jewelry has been in 2 and 1, you know, it's random. I don't know the percentage, but both of these I got in 2. And I've been farming 1 and on normal, but they've been dropping blue, and I don't use blue. But Burning Spellweave, if you're going to get these epic pieces, you got to do the Vet. Okay, so Burning Spellweave necklace, glyph max spell damage, and Burning Spellweave ring, glyphed spell damage, and of course, because we are set up this way, we want the ring of the Scathing Mage. That is going to be in Vet ICP, or if you want, you can go ahead and go into the sewers and the districts, farm up the key fragments, and then you can just use those to go in the vault. It's the same thing anymore. So if you don't want to go ahead and mess around with, you know, bad groups, or you don't want to take your chances, you can go down there and farm them. Okay, that's an option. But remember, it's like 100. It's 150, and to go into the vault to get the key, and you only get 2 pieces. So the percentage rating is pretty depressing. So you'll be in there a long time, but it's doable. I mean, and I'm not saying ICP drop rate's better. So don't get me wrong on that either. But that's how you get it, is ICP, Scathing Mage stuff. All right, and that's pretty much it for the gear. Now let's get into the skills here, guys, and the rotation. So we're going to basically take the asphyxiation type loadout with this build, right? So I'm going to give you the best of both worlds for each build. So, of course, our builder here is going to be Degeneration. Now, what Degeneration is going to go ahead and do for us is going to go ahead and deal 9,432 magic damage over 14.4 seconds. And it's also going to give me a self-heal for 1,791, an additional 1,791 every 6 seconds. Now, the duration is 14.4, so I'm going to get 2 ticks off and 1 off the initial, so that's 3 ticks. Now, this is what's really nice. While activated, your light and heavy attacks against the enemies have a 15% chance to heal you for an additional 110% of the damage caused. And this is why you use it. This is a builder. This is what we call a builder, because not only it does damage, but it's giving us a buff, granting us major sorcery, increasing our spell damage by 20% for 20 seconds. The reason I choose this builder over something like Empowering Chains, first thing, Empowering Chains is going to actually draw you close. It's a good builder, but it puts you up there. It's situational, and for this build, I don't prefer Empowering Chains because you don't get the major sorcery. But if you want to empower, what's nice about this builder, because when you go down to the Mage Guild and when you activate it, you get Might of the Mage. That's going to give you your empower. So you're getting the best of both worlds. Plus, that dot is going to help give you a significant. It's going to give you the chance to proc Valkynscorian, but we're layering the effects to increase the proc percentage. So that's very important. This is our spammable. It's Molten Whips. Lash an enemy with flame damage, dealing 8,929 flame damage. Now that's prior to my procs, guys, right? So that's the way that goes. Burning Embers. Slash an enemy with flame damage, dealing 4,566 flame damage and an additional 16,632 flame damage over 10.5 seconds. It's also a self-heal, and that heals me 75% of the total damage when the effect ends. Engulfing Flame. Exhale a flame blast, dealing 2,332 flame damage to enemies in front of me, and an additional 11,510 flame damage over 10 seconds. Now, here's the deal, guys. The reason you definitely want to choose the Molten Whips for your spammable, and I know a lot of people are like, well, I think this would be a better spammable, whatnot. Those are all debates. And that's fine. But when we take a look down here, while slotted, it's going to increase our weapon damage for all of our Ardent Flame abilities by 101. So we want to take advantage of that. We want to capitalize on that, right? And remember, this is a dot build. So we want to go ahead and apply, and we want at least a pretty decent, substantial spammable. Now, if you want to use something else, you can. I like Molten Whips. It has a pretty decent range, and I like it. So that's just my preference. Keep in mind, guys, that anytime you apply a burning status effect, you're going to get an increase to your damage by 66%. So that's another thing you need to keep in mind here with the burning spell weave. So we're going to get that. That's what's really nice. It works so dang well with the Dragonknight. It's unbelievable. All right, and of course we have Inner Light on both bars, and Shooting Star is on this bar. When we go to the back bar, we're using Draw Essence. I use Draw Essence because it's like a bomb. I draw in, it's giving me a self-heal, it explodes, boom. And it also gives me kind of a count towards my rotation. So when I see the explosion, I can go ahead and go back through my rotation, relaying. Unstable Wall of Fire. This is going to deal 2,074 flame damage every second. Also, this when the effect ends, it's dealing 3,319 flame damage. Now, keep in mind, this is another dot that also helps proc Valkynscorian. So far, we have 1, 2, 3, 4 dots. We're going to add it with a 5 with Burning Talons. Burning Talons is going to deal 4,979 flame damage, immobilize near enemies for 4 seconds. Talons also burn enemies for 5,835 flame damage over 4 seconds. So that's another dot. And we're going to add one more dot to increase that proc and to keep it up at all times and to keep our Scathing Mage procced. So, not Scathing Mage on this one. Yeah, Scathing Mage is on this side. So yeah, I'll keep Scathing Mage up. And that's Eruption. Summon a Scorching Cloud of Ash at the target's location, dealing an instant 4,273 flame damage to nearby enemies and 1,078 flame damage every second. So this is what's nice. I really like this because I'm laying down all of these effects. It's a set and forget. I have, a basically, what is that, 8 seconds? 2.5. So I have a 2.5 second delay. I have a 6 second delay. I have this effect for 4 seconds, and then I have Eruption for 18 seconds. So after this blows, I can relay these two, right? And just keep going with this, with the rotation. And while I'm over here, I'll lay down my single targets if need be. So for AoE, it works. I always keep the AoE bar separate from my single target bar. It just works out better, so I don't have to keep bar swapping as often or as frequently. The Dragonknight and the Magicka Nightblade, a lot of builds, I use this type of format. Because if you are, whether you are a new player or an advanced player, that it becomes, a question of how fast you can bar swap and how complicated you work out your bar layout. For me, this works out always great. Just keeping them separate because I can go through the rotation a lot more frequently and keep my DPS up there considerably. Okay, and for the ultimate, we're using Fiery Rage instead of Eye of the Storm because Eye of the Storm is more for PvP in my opinion, plus Fiery Rage pushes out a little bit more DPS, and that costs about 250 ultimate. So there is that. Now we're going to go ahead and get into the champion points here. Now this is configured a little different than the other two builds. Not much, but a little bit. So Elfborn we have at 12.5, Elemental Experts at 21. Now usually I keep that around 23. I will explain why I dropped it down to 21, because I'm using Scathing Mage and Burning Spellweave. I'm stacking the spell damage. So I want to reallocate about 2% over into my Thaumaturge, because when I proc it, I want my dots to burn hotter. I want, when those proc and I lay down my rotation, it's going to throw my dots at the hottest point that they can get. No sets out there that I've tested does it more effectively as stacking these two. The trick of it is when you see the one proc, because you can't see the two procs together, you're going to have to pay attention to what your proc screen. So if you see a little flash and Scathing Mage procs and your arms turn orange, you got both set procs. You hit those rotations and you lay them down really hard. So we're gonna get the increased spell damage. So we're gonna scale this back a little bit to make our dots burn hotter. Spell erosions at 1,492. Keep in mind we also have the concentration in light armor passives, and we're also getting 10% on staff, and you do need one sharpened sword. And by the time major and minor breaches apply, you have enough pen. Nothing is into the Astronaut, and Thaumaturge is at 17.5. You could bump this up a lot more. The problem of it is if you take away too much from Elemental Expert, it's going to affect the base dot damage. You don't want to do that, right? Do not do that. This is the most effective layout. It's the most optimal layout for this build. Period. Done. This is the setup, and this is the point distributing if you're going to run this build. Trust me, guys, it's very effective. Okay, 6.5 in Ironclad. That's PvP resistance. Don't worry about that. None of this has changed. 16% in a Hardy. I am a vampire, so I'm going to get a little extra regen, but unfortunately, I'm going to take a little extra flame damage. But since I am a Dunmer, I am offsetting that a little bit, but I want to keep Elemental Defender still at 22.5 to still try to negate the negative effect. Okay, Thick Skin's at 3% and Recovery's at 24, which is giving us 6.8. Magician's at 13.5. Arcanist is at 23%, Tenacity is at 6.6, and Healthy is at a moderate 6 because I'm a vampire. Just offset that once again, and nothing into the shadow. So there it is, guys. There's the layout for the champion points. Pretty much what I want to do here, I'm going to pick up the dailies, but I want to go through some of the combos before we go into the dungeon. Excuse me. To give you guys the base of how everything's working. Now, first thing is somebody's going to try to tell you is this is not trial sets and this isn't trial gear. Here's the deal, guys. You're not, if you're going to run a dot build, and I'm going to tell Zoss this, there's not a lot of gear benefits in current trial gear that applies to Magicka dot builds. This setup is kind of what you're using for the most optimal performance from the Magicka Dragonknight as far as if you're preparing for vet trials. It's unfortunate. I wish there was you know, you have a couple of options if you're going in normal, right? You really are, and you can use like Moon Dancer and stuff, and I'm not saying you can't, but the problem of it is it's harder to configure, and you don't get as much effect from your secondary dot effects. You get more damage up to the upfront effect, but your secondaries take a hit, so that affects your DPS, you know, for your sustained DPS. Remember, dot is sustained DPS. It's not burst builds. It's not designed to be that way. It's not what a dot build is. So you have to take that into consideration if you're going to be a dot build in trials. You know, if you're never... I have not seen... I've seen single parse on my PC. I haven't seen any trial parser as of yet. I probably should look. And from my understanding, I think ZeniMax is pretty anti group parsing. I get why. So, but they have other ways of, you know, testing you hardcore trial guilds and whatever. I'm no longer an elitist. I was a leader of a guild, and I used to be that dick that would determine whether or not somebody was good enough, and I'm not that person anymore. I'm done with that shit. No matter what, I have my enemies. I've nothing new. I got them on here. I had them in PvP, had them in, you know, trial, you know, raid guilds and stuff. Whatever. You can't make anybody happy. It is what it is. So it sucks, but okay, guys. So here's the trick. I'm going to show you both procs. I want to get both these proc, and I want to show it to you, right? Because I'm going to go into the character sheet. Once this procs, I want to show you both sets procced. All right, that's the deal. Oh shit! Did we get him? Yes! No, we didn't. I didn't get the one. Fuck. Fucked up. All right. I'm gonna have to wait a couple seconds. It is hard. I'm not gonna lie to you guys. To get both of these to proc at the same time, you'll get used to it. You will, but it is definitely a very, very finicky type situation to understand what's going on and when you should be applying your rotation more frequently. What I want to do is try to keep. Now, once I see those arms orange, I want to come in here and make sure it's all being applied. There's the major sorcery, but that's from my builder. Okay. Now, here's the nice thing too, guys. If you're not seeing it on the proc, say you have the 4-second delay, right? You have a 4-second delay with Burning Spell Weave. Scathing Mage will always make up for that, right? That's the nice thing about this setup too. So we're going to get 572 from the Burning Spell Weave. Scathing Mage is going to give us, that's why. Holy shit. I forgot to put on the, sorry, this is supposed to be on here. No wonder. Let me throw this on here. Sorry, it's supposed to be a Scathing Mage weapon. I messed up, guys. So you want a Scathing Mage weapon. Alright, that's my bad. So it's 1 burning spell weave, 1 scathing mage. So here's the deal. Let me go ahead. We'll try to... Ah! There it is. 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 Okay, sorry. My bad. So there it is, guys. Once you do that and you see the arms turn orange, what you're doing is you're stacking the most spell damage that you can possibly get, right? This goes up to, I think with, now see, now here's another thing I'm going to tell you. On the weapons here, you're going to want, once you get the ideal stack, you're going to put this with increased spell damage. And that one's going to be actually Crusher, and that one's going to be Regen. I have a Crusher on that one, though. 1 Regen, 1 Crusher on your swords, and Spell Power on the staff. When you kick everything in and you hit that weave and you do the animation cancellation, you're going to get that spell damage, and you can push Ape at slightly under 5k with everything procced, and that's without burning Spell Weave. All right, so that's pretty much the deal. How we're going to do that? We want to keep these 2 dot effects up because that's where I'm giving the best of both worlds. I got the 5 and I got this 5. All right, you can do the math here. So you're getting 579, right? You're getting 504, right? That's 1100. All right, currently added on top of our 21. Now add the proc from the weapon, and you're getting around 4,000. You're pushing up to around the 4,000k on top of the 41,000 Magicka. It's a 10-to-1 ratio, so you're hitting above, you know, the 50k in comparison to the max Magicka. Okay, so that's how that's pretty much working there. I'd have to actually get my calculator and everything. But you can do it. You can see it. So I'm going to... did I pick up the dailies? I'm hoping I picked up the dailies. If not, we'll go back. Yeah. Blessed Crucible and Wayrest Sewers. That's Wayrest 1. Now, like I said, guys, you got to pay attention to what's going on with your rotation here. I want to proc both of them on this side. Once those proc, I want to make sure my hots are laid, because even when burning Spell Weave, that's why I keep telling people burning Spell Weave is tailored for the Magicka DK. It's not a best in slot, because best in slot applies to all classes. There's a 4-second delay during burning Spell Weave. The reason being because your dot's going to be applied during its proc effect. Once it drops off, the dot damage is already there. It's already in effect. So the 4 seconds to a DK means nothing if it's timed right. So if you're going to be looking at optimal performance, you want to lay down the dots during its proc, right or wrong. Burst damage is going to drop off, so it's going to scale. The best way to ever do, if you ever talk to a seasoned MMOer, they're going to do what they call a static parse if you're running parsers. So that's very, very important to understand what your hard count is and what your burst is. Okay, don't need to be in there. Okay, I'm going to reapply my food buff. I don't want that to drop off. Alright. Excuse me. Anyways, guys, like I said, you know, that's the main thing. Like, anytime, like, someone's like, oh, well, you don't need a parser. I could take a target dummy. I could take anything. As long as it has a resistance, right? And I can get a hard number, that's giving me an accurate baseline. You know, a fluctuating parse to any hardcore trial person is going to tell you what's your base, what's your top end parse, and what's your average. All right? You're going to go off of 3 distinct numbers if you're this hardcore trial group or a raid group. Because when you do raids, it's like, okay, well, great, you can hit a parse up this high, but what's your sustain? Can you sustain that? Probably not. So what's your average now? Parse. I mean, I was one of those big elite dicks, man. I mean, it sucked, to be honest with you. You know, and people get mad at me because I was like, they'd be like, oh, my friend wants to join the guild. Well, that's not your decision. That's my decision. And when you tell people that they can't join and stuff, I don't want to be that person ever again. Ever again. I'm good. Go, tank, go.
See you inside. Speak to my giant friend here to gain
Tank? Okay. See if somebody drops a war horn, I doubt it. No. Why is he always looking? Now, the first thing I got a couple people's been stalking me. I think it's a guild. I don't know. But first thing they're going to be like is, you have shit DPS, Mystic. This is a dot build, guys. Like, you know, I love it because, you know, they're looking at these big numbers and I think they're, you know, I won't go there. It is what it is. But whatever. Now, like I said, guys, this will work. If you get this, everything ideal, this works in even Vet Mall. It will. Timing, though, is going to be your issue. That's something you're going to have to perfect. It's going to be an art. Nice thing about dot builds too, once you hit, you can kind of just move on to the next set of mobs. So if there's more than one mobs, I can go ahead, set my dots, put my AoE rotation down on one set, come over and start hitting another group. You know I don't give PvP here. I'm going to say this officially here, guys. All right. So I don't give PvP bids out. I'm really hardcore when it comes to my PvP, but I'll tell you what I got to see. If you're looking for a really good Magicka PvP vid out there at the moment, go to Cypher. You know, seriously, he's got a pretty badass PvP build for Magicka DK at the moment. It's pretty badass. So if you're wanting to get a build for a PvP build for Magicka DK, I would recommend Cyphers for sure. What the hell was that? Okay, I'm gonna work this one.
Use this to defeat them.
Now, that's another reason you don't want Kina. You know, you really are, you know, with everything on your rotation. If you were to proc Kina, you would be bottomed out. You'd be weaving a lot more. Now, see, I already got these dots. I'm good.
We don't abide cheaters in the blessed crucible. You're going to pay for that.
This. I don't know, the tank's lagging or something. Oh, fuck it. Kite. Kite him right into my storm. Draw. $19. Nice. At this. Hey guys, what's up? Came to the party. Oh. I mean, I hit that twice. What? How? Now remember, if this dies from that unstable wall, I'm going to recoup Magicka, guys, too. From that passive. So it's always very important to keep that unstable wall down, because if it blows and ads die, that's to your benefit. Is there... Oh, must be a heavy sack. Oh, yes. Oh, it's a chest. Well, can you... I can't... Nah, fuck it. It's doing something weird. Don't think I need any... Oh, nice! Love it! Love it, guys! Keep pulling them. Get them all! I think that tank is definitely lagging. Yeah. This is my perfect setup here. Let's see if I can do this. Now I'm just going to stay on this bar till we get everything clean. It's not worth it for me. I'm stuck. The MCCs. Now I'm going to go ahead. Keep me healed. I got a lot of aggro. But it's all good. It's all laid down. Oh, nice. Clean up. I hate dialogue. Really? Come on, guys. I mean, it's good. I mean, whoever was doing the writer was really good, guys. So, Zos, you got good writers, man. Serious. Really good writers. I like the storyline. Always liked it. good shit. Okay. These guys can be pretty much a pain in the ass, especially if you're a vamp. Try to keep them corralled, keep moving around, keep that fire at minimum. First time ever doing this, man. If these guys start spreading out, that's going to be your pain in your ass. Okay. Now, if I tank it, I just tank it there. I stay in the fire on my tank. Both of them are hit. I'm gonna drop it. 30k without a spell power cure or warhorn. That's not bad. Now I'm not gonna get it like as high as I do with my Nightblade. So with a warhorn and stuff, maximum with this build probably will push out close to 40. Not quite. Maybe about 38. That's with weapon procs, warhorn. Secondary effect you're going to get the most out of, though, is the dot from the meteor.
How did you win? From the volcanic island of Oddenbell, a creature of fury knows no mercy. Vicious, the cruel, the troll king.
Actually, step back here for a minute. We'll start hitting him with the range because he's going to jump around quite a bit. But I want to get these dots on him. Both procs. 27. I'm gonna hit this for the regen towards some of my Magicka. Shackles do nothing for bosses, they're immune to it. But at the same time, what's nice is once you synergize with it, you still get that recovery from the Undaunted passive. Get a boost to your recovery. Alright. Ooh, nice sack. Silk. I like silk. Decorative. Always some decorative chests. They'll trick you. Not ideally where I want him to be. Fuck it. Keep him in there, keep him in there. Oh, whoa, whoa, hey dude, it wasn't me, man. Hey, get the tank. No, it wasn't me. Hey, get the fuck off me. Get the tank, you son of a bitch. Hey, told you. God dang it. Yeah, thank you. I don't see, here's the thing when I tank, like, I'm always questioning, like, is there a tank meter or some shit? Like, what the, oh well, keep seeing that black arrow. Like, we used to go by threat meters. So if anybody played WoW, EverQuest, you know, you always went through, it was kind of nice because Raid Frame Killer was a really good for your threat monitoring. I really enjoyed that. Like, okay, you know, oh, what's my threat meter at? In this game, I have no fucking clue. Like, is it hard regardless? Because I've seen at times that you would taunt, and you have an 8-second taunt, right? And it would just drop within the 8 seconds, you know. And if then the opposite effect occur. If you hit it twice, you can lose aggro. Most of the time that doesn't happen, but you know, you know, turn-based used to have the, you know, the threat generators, you know, so, well, yeah, what the fuck, man? I thought somebody hit the scroll. Ah, shit. It's a key, I don't give a shit. But, damn it. I love when that shit happens, like, that's hard, man. That's the healer, though. I still think it's funny. I've had it happen. Don't think so. This is how I play this, guys. I'll come in, hit her up with my shit, pull back, and I'll try to keep it at range. So when when she starts doing this, I can just kind of pay attention. Oh shit. No, 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 no. That's dead. Oh yeah, I had that coming. Oh no, it's gonna be a wipe. That's what happens when you turn your back. Something bad's gonna happen. Go, healer, go! No. Yeah, shit. There's a scroll. Oh, I'll hit the scroll this time. It could be worse. I'll hit it. I ain't scared. Once again, guys, work it in and out. This is probably the only time I'll take like a two-handed, one of my two-hander builds, and I'll go with the bow on this fight. Don't think I'll be in close range at all times in this type of fight. That'd be just stupidity. Because it don't matter. I could have, you know, 40,000. That hits me, I'm fucked. Being a vampire just makes it a little worse. But it's all good. Oh shit. Okay, I'm gonna weave up. Perfect time to give me weaves. Okay, first thing, I know she's gonna do this. So I'm not even gonna fuck with those ads until this part's over. Weird phone call. No, 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 don't get in front of me. Don't. Ah. Okay, once again, I'm not going up there until this part's over. I know she's going to draw again. Okay, now I can finish it off. Get the synergy. There it is, guys. Divine, whatever. No. Alright guys, if you have any questions or comments, post below. I definitely love this build. It is very, very good. For a dot build, this is really good. This is my favorite for my dot builds. For fun, I like my asphyxiation build a lot more funner. It's a lot more fun. You get to see a lot of effects. Everything's firing. It's really cool. Deals a shitload of damage. For you know, towards your end game, and if you're going to be looking at a consistent amount of hot dots, and this is why it's called Heatstroke, because it's going to literally keep applying hot dots with those procs between the burning spell weave and the scathing mage. When both of those proc and you can get that rotation down, it's going to significantly increase the dot damage. You're not going to deal upfront damage like any of the other classes or builds because you're a dot build. But keep in mind, guys, that this let's do ICP. Keep in mind, guys, that this is a really really good build for this. I can take this pretty much anywhere in any vets. If anybody tells you you can't, they're high as a kite. All right, that's the way it is. This will work for any end game scenario. Ideally, though, I wouldn't take this in Vet Mole until I get the ideal pieces. So Vet Sanctum is questionable, but there it is, guys. Vet Hellraw and Vet AA, you're good to go, even with not ideal pieces, even if you get just core pieces. But I wouldn't take like well fitted or anything like that. But I mean, as far as weapon go, but there you are, guys. Said and done. Okay, so it is the Heatstroke build. Thank you for watching. If you have any questions or comments, post below. If you like the video, hit like, and thank you once again and always, and have a nice day.